What's up everyone, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7, and I've got this sweet drone to show you guys. Now this guy is the Bugs 6. It's an awesome drone. There are several different varieties or versions you can get of this. There are ready to run, or ready to fly, sorry. This one here comes with an FPV camera and also an FPV monitor as well. Now this guy is from RCMoment. They sent me this for review, so thank you very much for that. Now it is currently on special, and I'll also have a special coupon for you guys in the description. Now as you can see at the front, it has two white, and they are very bright LED lights, and at the rear it has two red ones. Now that's good for orientation, so you don't really get mixed up. Now the big thing about this, not only the price, but it has brushless motors. As you can see there, for brushless motors, it does look very cool, and I think it looks more than what it's actually worth. All the construction is plastic. That's not a bad thing though. It is very light and it is very durable, and if you do break it, well then parts are quite easily replaceable and very cheap as well. So that's enough of that. Let's open the box, see what you get inside. Also set everything up, which includes setting up this FPV monitor, which is all included onto the controller. And of course, we're going to give it a test flight. But this guy comes in several different versions. Obviously a basic version, one without the camera and just the controller. Also comes with one with the FPV camera and a monitor, and also one with the camera, the monitor and the goggles. But the one I have here has the monitor and the camera included. So let's have a quick look. It does have brushless motors, and that's what's really good about this, especially at the price point this is aimed at. Now the motors are 1806, 1800 kV, has a 4-in-1 ESC, obviously 2.4 gigahertz controller there, and it does have a low voltage alarm, and I think approximately 300 meter range with the stock controller. Now like I mentioned before, normally it comes just ready to run with this particular controller, but this one I have here has the C5830 5 gigahertz 720p FPV camera and the 4.3-inch LCD RX display. And on this side, just a brief rundown what you get in the box: the drone, the controller, the spanner for putting on your props, and extra propellers, the charger, and one live poly battery. So enough of that, let's see what we get in the box. Okay, now here is everything that we get in the box, and as you can see, it is a quite a lot of stuff here. And the good thing about it, it's got, if it's your first FPV package, it's got everything you need. It's got your little FPV monitor here, and it comes with a camera, charger and battery all ready to go, and extra props. Okay, first up here is your basic kind of USB charger. You can charge a 2S or 3S LiPo battery. It'll take a few hours to charge and approximately get around about 12 minutes flight time. Now the battery, as you see, comes with an XT30 connector, I think, and you can always use your hobby grade charger for quicker charge times. Okay, next up in this bag we have some spare parts here, your little wrench for taking off the propellers or tightening them down, and a nice little Phillips head screwdriver there. Now this is a sunshade for the LCD display, which is kind of nice to have. Okay, next up we have this USB cable, and that's to charge the LCD display because it has an inbuilt battery, and that is the little stand that attaches to the back of your controller and into the back of the LCD display. Now here is the 4.3-inch display. Now I'll go through more on this later on in the video when we set it all up, but got an on and off switch here and several other brightness buttons and different channel buttons and all that kind of stuff, but I'll have a look at that later on. Let's just see if it actually powers on. There we go. Happy days. So here is your 2.4 gigahertz controller, and it does feel very nice in the hand considering the price point. It is in mode 2, so your standard flight controls will remain there. It does have buttons up here, so to unlock the craft you just short press, and to lock it a long press. Up here the LH button is for your low and high speed rates. Now up here is your 3D flips and rolls button, and this button here with the little camera is obviously the photo. So short press is a photo, and you can change I think the shooting mode with the long press. But obviously these buttons here would only work if you have the version like I have here, with has the FPV monitor. Now it does have workable trim buttons as well, which is very nice. I think it takes 4 AA batteries, but let's have a look. Yep, there we go, 4 AA batteries, which is great. AA's in these type of controllers last a very long time. Now this little bracket to hold the LCD couldn't be easier to install. slides on the 2.4 gigahertz antenna there, and it's got this little switch here that notches up to the notch on the back of that antenna. So you just slide it down until you hear it click, and there you go. Same to be said with the monitor itself. Kind of just push it into that ball joint there until it snaps in like that, and you're good to go. There we go. Then you can adjust the angle to suit your needs. Now to install the hood on the LCD monitor, it's very easy as well. It has these little tongues there, or you could call it that wants a seat into these little grooves on the side of the monitor. So all you got to do is push down on that until it clips in. Okay, now let's move on to the drone itself. Just plastic around the motors there. There we go. The FPV camera is installed already, which is nice. I've heard some other people had to install it themselves. Here we have front LED lights, and also rear LED lights as well. Here's our small XT30 connector. That's what I do. Let's plug it in to see if we can see the lights and everything. There we go. Rear ones, red ones at the rear, and very nice white ones at the front, so at least you know which direction you're facing kind of from a distance. Now, as we see, we have a 7.4 volt 1300 milliamp 25C LiPo battery in there, and it seems to have its own style of battery, so it might be hard to kind of use a generic one, but I guess a bit of modding will be able to fix that, no problem. There we have our brushless motors. Everything seems fit and finish, seems really nice. As you can see, it has these red knobs on top of the props here that tighten it up, and very easy to undo and redo up. And overall construction is all plastic. There's no carbon fiber or anything like that here, but what do you expect for the price point this is running at? In saying that, it is still very strong, and I guess if you do break something, parts would be easy to be replaced and very cheap at that as well. Even though it is all plastic, it does look very nice. I like the design. They've done a really good job of making it kind of look more expensive than what it really is, and I guess it would appeal to a lot of people as well. The one thing I like about it does have legs to land on. It doesn't just land on the belly. Actually, they sit quite high up, so it won't be, you know, you can land in I guess a little bit of long grass without getting the grass getting smashed up into the blades. Now, a nice little feature that I've noticed, the antenna here for the FPV module has its own little clip there, so it's nice and out of the way. It's not going to dangle and hit anything like some of the other drones I've seen where they kind of just stick up here. That's a nice little touch how they've routed that wire with these clips. So make sure when you actually get this that you slide the battery all the way up. You can see it's got this little lip here to help it from sliding back out, but yeah, just make sure that's all the way in there. And as you can see, everything else does look very nice. Not much more to say about it, but overall construction is good, feels solid, made out of plastic, but it's got brushless motors and it's a fantastic price. Now, before you take her out for a first flight, remember you need to actually put a little micro SD card in there to record the footage. Okay, now before I turn on the drone and show you the FPV and stuff like that, let's have a look at the manuals. Here's our one for the C5830 FPV camera. It just gives you everything you need to know about the frequencies, how to, obviously you can change the angle to 90 degrees of change there, and the basic indication, what's on the LCD panel, all that kind of stuff. See, and I saw someone else had to actually install the camera, so there is how you do that if you need to know. And now a quick start guide, pretty cool. That's really all you need to know about it. Another instruction manual. This one is a bit more in depth of how to control it, what the controller, like all the functions on the controller does, all that kind of cool stuff, spare parts, yada yada. Now I'll go over this next, what is on the display and what all these different functions and buttons do. Last but not least, some stickers. We all love stickers. Okay, so I'll just turn the controller on. The drone is already on. I'm not going to fly it indoors here, but let's turn on the LCD panel, little switch here. And there we can see it gives us what we need. Up here is the receiver band, the channel, the frequency, and also have the receiving, like the signal strength. These buttons here, well, that's when you plug it in to charge it, that's a little LED under there. This is our grid lines button, a contrast button, our brightness button, sorry, and the channel button on the side here. So I guess if we just cycle through here, I guess we'll be able to find it. We'll just keep searching through it until we find the right one, and hopefully once you find it once, you don't need to keep finding it every single time you turn it on. There we go. So we have connection. There I am there. So how does this look on the screen? There's my ugly head. Not too bad. The delay seems reasonable. Let's put it in front of the camera. Yeah, so the latency seems pretty good. You could use this as your primary monitor for FPV viewing, so that's decent. You don't have to put another little another additional one on there if you're not happy with it. It seems so far pretty good just from first impressions. But there we go. So let's have a look. If I turn this off now, and if I turn it back on, oh great, it straight away goes to that. It remembers the last channel it was on, so I don't have to keep looking for it. So that's cool. But so far so good. Camera seems fine, and obviously you can adjust the lens, the angle of that camera lens. Sorry. There we go. So I think that is it. We have to take it out for a fly and see how it performs. All right, guys. Now I'm at the local park here. Now I'll go around a few laps, see how the image from the actual FPV 720p camera on the drone is like, and then what I also do, I get the new Foxy Legend 3, and I'll see if I can strap that to the bottom and give you some of the footage of that to see how the actual camera on this guy is compared to the 720p one. I'll get it all ready, plug the batteries in, and let's get it up. Okay, well this is the most cameras I have. I have my Panasonic here, I got the Y on my head, or the Wii, or whatever you want to call it, the 720p camera from the drone, and also the Foxy Legend 3. So I hope everything is recording. It says it is, so let's get it up and see how she looks. So once the drone's all plugged in, you just want to start the motors. You push this button here, and there you go. The drone props will start to spool up. It's not sitting perfectly even because the camera underneath is bulging a little bit underneath the landings gear. But what we'll do, we'll get it up and running, and it doesn't have altitude hold or GPS positioning, so you have to make sure they always are looking at it. What we'll do, we'll see if we can start the video. Now let me get into video mode. And there we go there. I think it is recording. So that is in low rates. There we go there, that's in high rates. Simply just push this button here. I'm just trying to get any camera I can to show you it. There we go there. That is full stick forward. Very nice. And what I'll do, I'll kind of use the FPV camera so I can have a look, and hopefully it's recording as well. It says it's recording. That's why I have the Foxy on there as well, so it has a little bit more weight to it, but the Foxy camera only weighs about 67 grams or so. But let's see if we can get it close to the camera. It does fly very nice, and it has a little bit of a breeze here today. And that is in high rates. And this is, this will be very good beginner's drone if you want to get into that racing type of market. There we go there, if I can get back a bit. There we go. Now it does have all those fancy flip buttons, so basically you have a little button here, so if you push and hold at the same time, you can see there, push, hold it, it does a loop or a roll to the left, push and hold the right, does it to the right, push it back. So it does roll very nice, even with that extra camera on the bottom. And I should really be pointing that camera a little bit higher on the angle so I can actually see a little bit better. So what I'll do, I'll bring it in here, so, and I'll rotate that camera a little bit higher so I don't just see ground. Okay, hopefully everything is recording again. The camera is slightly on a better angle now, so I can go a bit full pitch forward. And there we go, it's not just looking at the dirt. It seems so pretty. It apparently goes 50 kilometers an hour, which is not too bad, I guess, for what it is. It's under, I think it's around about under $150 or something like that, so that's pretty amazing. I'll leave the link in the description where you can buy this from, if you want to go check it out. But a very nice flying drone.
And if you lose actual transmission with the controller here, it shuts off after a couple of seconds, so that's just something to know. But yeah, so that is in full pitch forward, and with the LED lights at the front, you have your white at the front and red at the back. So it's quite easy, and this is in the middle of the day, so it's pretty bright, but I can still quite easily see the orientation of the craft. So hope all those cameras are recording, so I give you a good indication of what you're looking at. Have my Panasonic here as well, just in case none of them will work. I've got one on my head, two on the drone, one on my body here, so something's got to work. Something's got to work. But we never know. Let's give it a punch test, I guess. So we'll get it close. And 1, 2, 3. So that is in low rate. Well, actually, that was in high rate, but the battery's going off. So you can hear everything is telling me to come closer. The remote controller tells me it's running low as well when the craft is. And also, you can't hear it, but there's also one on the drone as well. Maybe the Foxy camera will pick that up. And let's just see what happens if you just ignore that. I have measured the low voltage and it was 3.8 volts, so that is nice, right where you want a low voltage cutoff, nowhere lower than that, so that's excellent. But let's see how long we can keep flying this until it gives up, or if there's a second stage of beeps, not too sure. Don't want to get too high in case it just wants to fall from there, which would not be good. So it's still going, still beeping. Still going, so and it also, the alarm on the transmitter is all when it gets over, I think it's 300 meter range with this, so it's quite impressive. So there's also alarm for that when you're getting out of signal. But yeah, it's full stick now, so it's definitely getting low. And there we go. So let me shut all this off. Okay, now I don't know why it didn't record before when I asked it to. It said it was recording on the FPV monitor, but oh well. It is what it is. As you can see from the footage, it's okay. Nothing spectacular. Not as good as the GoPro or the Foxy Legend that you saw there. FPV combo with the monitor works okay. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. I thought it was recording.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I think this is a fantastic beginner drone. Flies really well. It doesn't have stabilization or return to home or auto leveling and all that kind of stuff, but in saying that, that is a good thing because it teaches you how to fly it. Now it does perform very well. I was flying it with the Foxy Legend 3 camera on the bottom, which was another 70 odd grams, and it still performed very well. The FPV camera that was included, it worked, and the image was decent on the FPV monitor, although when I went to record, it said it was recording on the monitor, but it didn't record as you saw in the video. It did take some still pictures when I wanted to take video. It got mixed up, so it is what it is. The main thing is the FPV footage worked, and the reception was quite reasonable, quite strong. I was in quite an open field, albeit, and it was okay. Wasn't that much breakup. There isn't any visible antennas on the actual controller, as you can see. So that's going to hurt it a little bit with the range, but for a simple, you know, ready to fly package, it's fantastic. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it's currently on special. Go check it out. But even at the full price, yeah, I don't think you can really go wrong. Now, I did crash it a few times. Wasn't on footage, and nothing happened. I think there's a bit of scuffs here on the blades, and I didn't mention in the unboxing, but you do also get a full set of blades as well, so that's cool. But because it's made out of plastic, it is very rigid, it is very light, and yeah, no damage was done at all, as you can see. It's very nice. Now, one thing I would like to see is this battery tray. You can only use the proprietary battery, and obviously that's done for a reason, but you could hack this and put your own size, you know, 2-cell LiPo in there. It is very generously like spaced. You can easily put one in there, maybe even larger than the included 1300 milliamp hours. So that's something that's a bit of a pain, but again, not that big of a deal. Now, like I mentioned before, I do like how they've routed these wires, not just for the FPV cables, but also the 5.8 gigahertz and the 2.4 gigahertz as well. Just a nice touch. Some of these other drones, I've seen these and they're just sitting up there flapping around in the breeze. They could get hit by the blades and chop it off, but no issues there. Very well thought out. But that's it, guys. Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. Appreciate you watching. If you liked it, give it a good thumbs up. It always helps. Any questions, please leave them down below. And also any questions or, I don't know, feedback that you can give me, guys, to improve my videos or anything like that, it's much appreciated. Now, I'll have more drone videos coming up. I should have the DJI Spark coming soon, so that'll be really looking forward to that. But anyway, that's in a new video. RCMoment sent me this for a review. Thank you very much. Links in down in the description. And that's it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.